Long time no talk. Here's a mess. Let's keep the belly out of it. And let's check to make sure the chat is working. Okay. Happy Friday. Weekend's here. We're in college. We'd already be 3 days into the weekend. This is your divisional live stream for Saturday's game. So we're going to look at some live movements for Sunday's games, but the focal point here, okay, don't want to hear myself. Focal point here is going to be on the 2 games played tomorrow. Also have an NBA pick for tonight. So thank you for coming as always. You guys are the absolute best. The next stream, we are going to go Sunday morning. There is a window where we can do a stream, and I'd rather do it then with the most up-to-date information. Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. That's when we're going to stream Sunday's games. Or not going to stream the games. Sorry, Raj, not trying to stream your games. That is when we will stream the chat, this conversation, with the picks. So 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. And always, if you go into like the description of these streams, I always try to list the date and the time of the next stream if you ever forget. You can also see it on my Twitter account. DMs are always open. You can hit me up anywhere. I try to respond to everybody. Recap. Nice run for the national championship game. Very rare to come on and start with a non-loser with the way some of this season has gone, but a nice run through the national championship game. We had the over. We had Bama in the first half, which is just the gift that keeps on giving. An incredible wager. Bama team total over. Najee Harris over rushing plus receiving yards. That got a little hairy at the end, especially when he got dinged up on that one play. But that was a great pace all the way. And New Orleans, basketball, we gave out Memphis, Cleveland under. By the way, Cleveland and the Knicks play tonight with a total of 197. We haven't seen that all year in the NBA. I'm not picking that game, but there is an NBA game for later. So those are the 5 winners. The loser was Najee Harris over rushing yards. He didn't get to 110. They used him big time in the passing game, which is why we combined those two. Simon, very nice of you to say. To all the 95.7 listeners who still follow me, man, you guys are awesome. Awesome. 6 of the best years of my life up there in San Francisco. My wife and I miss it. Kids miss it. Kids bring up San Francisco all the time. Not the young one. He doesn't know anything. He just turned 2. But the 4-year-old, he remembers. They were both born there. That city's always going to hold a very special place in our hearts. It's a shame the teams aren't good right now, but that'll turn. That'll turn. All right, so 5-1 from Monday night, 160, 196, and 3. So we're back to 36 under. Time's running out to get this thing back to 500. We mentioned the next stream, so we can jump right into this. All right, so let's begin with the line moves. We're going to talk about all 4 games, but we're not going to pick the Sunday games. We're going to do that on Sunday. So Green Bay had opened as a 7.5, and I want to make sure I have all the updated stuff here. Basketball page is up. Green Bay had opened as a 7-point favorite over the Rams, total of 46.5. That within about a day was bet down to 6.5. Guys who do this for a living like the idea of having the Rams plus 7 in their pocket. It hasn't moved since. I only see this going one way, and that's back to 7. That's the only way this goes, in my opinion, barring some sort of unforeseen circumstance. Teaser money is going to be all over the Packers. Public money is going to be all over the Packers in this game. You'll have money line parlays, all that stuff. So going back to 7's the way to go. So if you like the Rams, you probably don't have to make a play on this now. If you like the Packers, you'd want to get the 6.5. Total open 46.5 down to 45.5. So we have seen some under money in the situation. Buffalo and Baltimore. Bills open as a 2.5-point favorite. Quickly after that, it got bet down to 2. So there was some Ravens money. Then it went back up to 2.5. I don't think it'll get to 3. I don't know if there's going to be enough of the public money coming in on Buffalo to push that up to 3. I don't think the sharp money is going to want to be on Buffalo minus 2.5. I think if anything, if that thing comes anywhere near 3, you're going to see an onslaught of cash on Baltimore that is going to move it right back down. So if you like the Ravens, I don't know, maybe you can wait, but I don't see a whole lot happening here. If it gets to 3, that would surprise me. That would really surprise me. Total for this game opened 50. Let me make sure I have that. It actually opened 49.5, went up to 50, now has come back down to 49.5. There's some talk about the weather Saturday night. We'll get to that in a moment. Kansas City and Cleveland on Sunday. The Chiefs open as a 9.5-point favorite. That is now up to 10 across the board. There's a couple 10.5s out there. Total was 54. That got bet up to 57. No surprise to see money on the Chiefs under 10. You had to figure it was going to get to 10 with the public getting involved. They're going to love the teasers. Hi, Abby. Always great to see you. I always love the Abby. Hey, Joe. Very nice. We should do more of that. Saying hi to each other, nodding, smiling to our neighbors, being peaceful with one another. It starts with the chat. It starts with Abby, setting the example for all of us. Total got jacked right up to 57. So do with that what you will. Believe it or not, as of now, that's the game where I have like the least amount of picks, interest, investment at the current moment. That's just the situation right now. Come Sunday, don't worry, that will change. Wife's texting. They're out of my brand of krill oil. I take like fish oil, krill oil, omega-3s, because I figure if I just take vitamins, that'll be enough to get me jacked. I won't actually have to diet or work out. This is just look. Sounds good. Thanks. Married life. Incredible. So that's where we're at right now. There's been money on the Chiefs, money on the over. Not a whole lot going on there. I find myself at the moment kind of liking the Chiefs in the first half, but there's not a whole lot I'm doing there. In addition, I find myself liking Cleveland a little bit if it gets to 10.5. House money with the Browns, right? Absolute house money. They can play real loose in this game. They got the number 3 ranked rushing attack. That'll keep Mahomes off the field if they can get it going. I'm not going to make the case for them to win the game, but covering the back door, possibly. We'll talk more about that Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Final game in terms of line movement, Saints opened 4. That immediately got bet down to -3. Immediately went down to 3. So it was Tampa money, and it is just sat on 3. I'm interested to see where the public's going to be here. Both teams are public teams, right? Could this be the infamous public dog where the public decides this is where they want to invest in an underdog? Remember, Brady and the Buccaneers. I don't know why that was so hard to get out. I actually had a great night's sleep last night. They're like 1-4 against teams with a record of 500 or better this season. They lost both games to the Saints. They lost to the Rams. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Bears. They did, credit them, beat the Packers. And that was a great win back in week 6. But I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to find out. We're going to find out a lot with that one. Total was 49.5 over money. That's been bet up to 52. What's up, Joe? If you know any sites that track halves and quarter ATS trends, can you recommend them to us? Great question. Absolute great question. In terms of, I'm assuming you're talking about betting, ATS trends. So I think it exists. I don't know it. There was an app a few years ago. Who the hell launched that app? I can't even remember. I had a buddy who recommended it, and they were tracking some stuff because I was looking for first fives in baseball. I wanted ATS record on the first 5 innings in baseball, and someone was focused on that. And we've been looking for it on Daily Wager for, we were actually talking about it this morning on an email thread regarding first periods in hockey. Because the first period over in hockey is 11-4 through the first 15 games. It's generally 1.5 goals. Sometimes you might see 2, but they're juicing the hell out of it now because the secret's out. Scoring like crazy in the NHL so far, especially when it comes to the first period. Onside Sports. You got to get low as a special guest appearance for one of these playoff weekends. I don't know how to bring a guest on here. I mean, I might be able to just hold the phone up. Low would be in. I'm sure he'd be in. I know when the weather's nice, he'll probably be down here in Vegas. We could do something side by side. They took it down, the half ATS trend, so it's just full games now. All right, I'll be on the lookout. Maybe hit me up on Twitter, my DMs, so I know how to find you, Oaktown's finest. Imagining you're from the town. Obviously, I don't know too many people from Kansas who are going to have that as their handle, but if I can come across something, I'll let you know. Because that resource has got to be out there. Action Network might have something. I don't know. They might have something with their app. I know that they've been continuously updating and trying to do the best possible job there. All right. Where are we at? We want to get to picks. All right, let's talk about injuries and weather first and foremost. Green Bay's first game out, 35 degrees at kickoff. As of the projection now, 10% chance of precipitation, 10-mile-an-hour winds. So it's going to be cold, but nothing to indicate that there's going to be anything significant that should impact the line in any way. Just a cold game. Buffalo is going to be 34 degrees at kickoff. 25% chance of precipitation, winds at around 14 mile an hour. This is the one you need to keep an eye on. I have a feeling that's why some money came in on the under yesterday. It was sitting 50. I bet 50. I'll let you know right now. It's my favorite bet of the weekend. And I've been watching this, and it came down a little bit yesterday, 49.5, and I see some 49s out there too. I think there might be a play. I don't know if it's 100% weather-based, but the forecast does have the chance for some snow. It also has a chance for some wind, and this is going to be a night game. So just keep that in mind. The weather can change quickly. We're still over 24 hours away. Watch the weather in that game. If you like over props, if you like overs, any of that stuff, you got to keep your eyes on it. You don't have to worry about it for the Saints game. It's in the Dome. But for the other three, keep your eyes on it. So that's where we stand as of right now. Injury report. Sean McVay announced yesterday Jared Goff at quarterback for the Rams. John Wolford's out with a neck injury. Aaron Donald's going to be good to go. And Cooper Kupp listed as questionable with a knee injury. That's the Rams report. The Packers report is great. Outside of Kingsley Keke, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, defensive lineman for the Packers. He's doubtful with a concussion. Outside of that, it's a clean bill of health. Good to go. Baltimore. DJ Fluker, offensive tackle, questionable with a knee injury. Cornerback Marcus Peters, who had the big INT at the end of the Tennessee game last week, he's questionable with a back injury. Both are expected to play. For Buffalo, running back Zach Morris is out, suffered an ankle injury last week. I think he's done for the playoffs. So that's that. That's it. That's it for the injury report. We're looking pretty clean going in. So let's start with this Packers and Rams game. 1, 2, 3. I got 3.5 picks because I am going to play the Packer teaser. I'll let you know more about that in a second. First bet on this is going to be under first quarter, 9.5 points. Right? Don't have time. Want to come right out of the gates. Want to be swinging. It's not really the reason. I just like to make that joke. There's a lot here, and this is going to play into why I like the Packers as well. So that's pick number 2. I am going to lay the 6.5 at the Packers. I know a lot of smarter guys are going to play the Rams. Fine. I'm going to play Green Bay here. These two things kind of go hand in hand. Look at the situation for the two teams, especially the Rams. They have really been stretched thin the last 4 weeks, right? You go back to week 16, they played at Seattle. Hated division rival. That game was essentially for the division. Win or lose, they lost. Win or lose, doesn't matter. That's a big get-up spot. Week 17, they host Arizona. Playoff spot on the line, right? Chicago losing means they were going to get in, but they played at the same time. They couldn't risk losing to Arizona, and Chicago was kind of tight enough with Green Bay where they had to play. So again, high stress, high leverage situation. That's 2 in a row. Then, boom, right back on the road to Seattle for the wild card game. Now on the road to Green Bay for the divisional round. That takes a toll. Constantly having to get up for these games, right? Putting all your energy, all your emotion. Anyone who's ever crammed finals for a degree of any kind, anyone who's ever worked double and triple shifts over the holidays to pick up extra money for the family, whatever it may be, you know what it's like to be stretched thin, which is what's happening to the Rams, who are also dinged up, who are also going to Lambeau Field in the cold-ass weather to take on a well-rested Green Bay team. That situation is the primary reason why I'm playing the Packers. A lot of people might ask, what about Ramsey versus Devontae Adams? It's a concern. Jalen Ramsey's fantastic. The loss of Brian Bulaga, it's a concern. One of the best offensive linemen in the business. But Jared Goff has a thumb injury, and in that weather, it's not conducive to throwing consistently, accurately, productively. I don't even think McVay has a whole lot of confidence in Goff. Like the way that's set up last week, you didn't have a third quarterback on the roster. Wolford got the start, but Goff came in for the injury. Like if that was Manning or Brady or Breeze or Russ or Mahomes, those guys are just outright playing. Like he was backing up Wolford, I think, and Doug Kazarian has floated this as well, and I agree with him. He was starting Wolford because he thought he gave him the best chance to win. Right? If Goff's really that hurt, you have to have 3 quarterbacks on the roster in the event something happens to Wolford, which is a somewhat higher probability than some quarterbacks because he loves to run and stick his head in there. He took some big shots against Arizona too. You had to see that coming. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in Goff. I don't see necessarily the Rams getting off the bus and just flying down the field against the Packers. 9.5. Essentially, I got to keep it. I got to keep it under 10 in order to win this bet in the first quarter. And for Green Bay, I love the idea of them jumping on the Rams. But if they get the ball second, Rams might eat up some time. Green Bay goes down, they score. Rams eat up some more time, quarter over. But also, the Rams have the best defense in the NFL. Yards per play, scoring defense, all that stuff. They're fantastic. So this game's trending towards an under. I'm not playing the under for the game, but it's trending towards an under. The weather, the injuries, being stretched thin, the matchup, all that stuff. I like it to stay under 9.5 points in the first quarter. I'm also going to play the Packers because I do think over the course of the first half, they're going to get their points. They're going to find a way to put the Rams in a spot where the Rams are going to have to become a little bit more one-dimensional than they want to be. They're going to have to start throwing the ball more consistently. And I'm not sure that's where they want to be. The Rams defense is the big hope here, whether or not they can keep this thing close. But you fall behind by a couple scores and Goff can't move the ball. And remember, the Rams have only scored 6 points total in the first quarter over the last 4 weeks. They have not fired well from the gate. You can point it to the quarterbacks, the matchups, whatever you want. If you get caught having to get in a shootout with Rodgers at Green Bay, which I don't think it's going to be because of the Rams defense, but I don't have a lot of faith in that Rams offense ultimately. So first 2 picks out of the gate, Packers minus 6.5 and the first quarter under 9.5. Oh, Quincy. Interesting. Interesting. On the same side as me, huh? Or actually, you're agreeing with Abby. All right. Never mind. Because I know you like to fade me, which has been quite profitable for you. So kudos to you. That's a pretty sharp strategy. One other pick for this game. I am going to tease the Packers with Baltimore. Baltimore's the best tease on the board because it's 2.5. So you go up to 8.5. You go through the key number 3, 4, 7. You're sitting at 8.5. Good spot to be in. For the Packers, from 6.5 down to half, it's not the best teaser play, but like I said, I like the Packers to cover the game. I like them to win the game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Rams won it, but ultimately, I don't have a whole lot of faith in that offense. The fact that they haven't fired well from the gates and the situational advantage for Green Bay. Very well rested, at home, familiar with the cold. Against Goff and the Rams, not well rested, banged up, not as familiar with the cold. So there you go. Those are the 3 for that game. Under first quarter, 9.5, Packers minus 6.5, and then Packers tease down to a half point with Baltimore plus 8.5. To Baltimore-Buffalo. Favorite play in this game, favorite play of the weekend is the under. It's at 49.5. That's what we will give it out at right now, 49.5. So we saw what Indianapolis's defense did to Buffalo. It didn't shut them down, but it held Buffalo to its second lowest scoring output of the last 9 weeks. All right. That's what happens in the playoffs. Everybody tightens up a little bit. Situation tightens up a little bit. And that's what happened to the Bills. No shame in that. They found a way to win the game. But Baltimore's defense is not Indy's defense. Baltimore's defense is way better. Baltimore, second in the NFL in scoring defense, tied for 6th in opponent yards per play. Very good defense. And in this game, it's possible the Bills get a little bit more one-dimensional than they want to be. Zach Moss is out for the playoffs. They're not exactly the best rushing team, and they're depleted in the backfield. If you become one-dimensional, Baltimore knows what's coming. It's easier to tailor a very good defense to what you're trying to do to them. So that's the first angle of this. The second angle is the other side of the ball. What do the Ravens want to do? They want to run the ball, right? They want to run with Lamar Jackson, but they want to be able to run the ball more than anything else. That's Buffalo's weakness. Buffalo's like 22nd or something. I don't have the number in front of me in opponent yards per rush. It's like 4.7 yards per carry. That's their weakness. So if Buffalo can't stop Baltimore's run, and Baltimore also ranks 31st in pace, Baltimore plays good defense. Bills also rank bottom 5 in pace. Neither team's rushing up and down the field. Clock's running because we're doing a lot of running. We've got some good defenses out there. Total was at 50 points, which was a monster number in my opinion for this game, given the situation. I'm playing the under. I don't see this game being a shootout. Maybe there's some big mistakes that put us in a hole. Maybe special teams returns a score. I should probably bet that, but I don't see this being a shootout. I don't know if it's going to be as low scoring as last week's Tennessee-Baltimore game, but I don't see Buffalo's offense just flying up and down the field. And I don't think Baltimore's going to try to do that. I think Baltimore will have some mistakes. Obviously, the weather could get to them a little bit, but everyone's making a big deal. Well, Lamar Jackson said he's never played in snow before. Whatever. He'll figure it out. He runs the ball. It's tough to tackle him. A lot of people slip. Maybe he slips a few times early. That'd be good for us. But we're playing the under. Number 2, Lamar Jackson passing attempts under 26.5. So it plays into a lot of what I was just talking about. He doesn't throw this much. I was on the wrong end of this. I thought he would go over the total, which was like 27, 28.5 last week against Tennessee. I was wrong. I missed it by 2 or 3. Baltimore controlled way more of that game than I thought they would. I'm going to go under this week. He averages 25 passing attempts per game on the season. So this is above the average. Number 2, he hasn't thrown 27 passes in a game in any of his last, I think, 6 or 7 games. So what would make him throw more passes in this game? Well, if he's trailing, playing from behind. I don't really see that happening. I don't think they're going to play from behind in this game. And like I said, it's 2 teams that are bottom 5 in pace. I think the Ravens are going to be able to run the ball, which is what they want to do. I think they're going to be able to take their time. I don't think he's going to have to throw the ball 27 times in this game. So we're going under 26.5 passing attempts. It's something he doesn't do often, something he doesn't do on average, something he hasn't done in a while. I don't think it's something he's going to need to do in this game. You're going to have to exceed the average. I had a great reason for that last week against Tennessee. Their pass defense stunk. I thought Baltimore might be playing from behind in that game. Against the bad pass defense, Lamar was going to have to throw. I don't see that happening in this game. So there you go. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NFL picks and then 1 hoops pick. Green Bay Rams under 9.5 points in the first quarter. Green Bay minus 6.5. Packers Ravens 6-point teaser, which means the Packers are half a point, minus half a point, and Baltimore's plus 8.5. Baltimore Buffalo under 49.5 total points. Lamar Jackson under 26.5 passing attempts. And then in the NBA tonight, over 220 points, Lakers Pelicans. Pelicans defense started strong. They stink. Last 5 games, they're giving up like 114 points per game. Lakers have a great offense. Everybody's rested. I think the Lakers are scoring plenty of points, and then the Pelicans are going to have to bring it in late. That's what it's going to be. The Pelicans, to do their end of the bargain here, hold up, they're going to have to do it late, but I see that happening. Over 220, Lakers Pelicans. That's it. Numbers are for the props, but I like QB rushing props for Bills and Ravens. Yep, I can see that. I think Lamar Jackson somewhere around 72, 74. Josh Allen might be near 40, 37, something like that. Not positive. Dogs are killing it in the NBA. Yeah, no crowd. Players talking about the idea of just not having the crowd to pump them up and bring them back into the game. Blind bet dogs. Yeah, I kind of like, to that point, the Mavericks plus 7.5 against Milwaukee tonight as well. All right. You guys are great. Thank you for coming. Best of luck. No college basketball picks. He had one earlier in the week, but it was in between the last 2 streams. There's going to be more coming starting next week. I promise that. The individual I talked to was on vacation a little bit, so he's coming back. He's going to be more into it. When I get the picks, you will get the picks. So there you go. That's everything. I will see you guys Sunday morning, unless you're on the East Coast. Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. We'll preview the 2 Sunday games. But until then, best of luck. Thank you for coming. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in a couple days on Sunday.